This is the Dodgers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up? Hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel as we embark on the regular season from the United States. Of course, the season is already underway for the Dodgers as they played 2 in Japan against the Cubs. They won both of those tonight. A tight win against the Tigers at the Ravine. We'll get into it here in a little bit. I am Pete Fox, your host covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. What else do I need to tell you? I think that's about all with regard to the setup info. BB wants to know where I am. I am in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hence the reason I don't have a hat on. I brought like beanies. I didn't bring a regular baseball cap, and it's probably the first time since the very first episode of the Locked On POSTCAST LA series that I am not wearing a hat. Thought about putting the beanie on, but I'm like, that would look weird. So yeah, we're in Salt Lake City. My daughter is on spring break, and we're here to do a little bit of skiing. But the Dodgers is what we're going to talk about for the next 15 minutes or so. The new and improved shortened edition of the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST. Don't forget, you guys can check out Jeff and Vince on the daily podcast if you want a more in-depth look at this game or whatever is going on in the Dodger universe. This game for me, pretty huge. I think this was a big win for the Dodgers. I know if they lost, they're still 2-1, and they're doing fine. We shouldn't be worried about anything. But this to me really did feel like the official opening of the season. And when you got the Yankees winning, the Padres winning, everyone's putting up victories today. It felt like, America, which is filled with Dodger haters, by the way. Fortunately, not any of them here to speak of. But when the Dodgers lose, especially a tight game like this, starting the season at Dodger Stadium, I feel like people would have been all over them. Oh, look at the high-paid Dodgers can't win against the Tigers. Look, the Tigers are tough, and Scooball is the real deal. Pitched well today, but the Dodgers, handled him. Mainly Teoscar Hernandez with the big 3-run home run. So, that was huge, and I think we should lead off the game with this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Lead off the show, rather, not the game. Teoscar Hernandez is your player of the game. Really, it could have gone to a handful of people because the Dodgers did it all on home runs. So you look up and down and you say, all right, we got a home run from Tommy Edmond, got a home run from Shohei Ohtani going opposite field. But Teoscar Hernandez, the clutch home run, he was 1 for 4, but it was the only one that he needed. A 3-run shot, a big shot for the Dodgers. It came in the 4th inning. It was all that they needed ultimately. There were some shaky performances from the bullpen, and I feel like 5th inning for Teoscar. Sorry. I feel like I kind of chalked this up to a win because the bullpen is the best bullpen we've seen for the Dodgers in a long, long time. And, you're up 4-2, and, Kasperius comes in and looked like he had dominating stuff, but loaded the bases with nobody out and ultimately worked his way out of it. But that was a little shaky. Vesia gave up a run. Scott gave up a run. Trinan did not give up a run, but got into a bit of a jam there in the 9th inning, finished with 2 Ks when it was all said and done for the save on 23 pitches. Tanner Scott, 1 inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 14 pitches, and Vesia, same, 1 inning, 1 run, 1 hit. Struck out the side when it was all said and done, 18 pitches. So, not terrible, but just a little shaky. Blake Snell also not terrible, little shaky. I don't think Snell came out and dominated. He gave up 5 hits, walked 4. That's a number you don't like to see, and only 2 Ks. So everyone's still trying to find their way. It's early. We can't get too excited one way or the other about games this time of year. Ultimately, when you get right down to it, you're like, hey, you got to get some wins. You got to find your momentum. And OJ is right. If the season ends this way, on this path, the Dodgers would be 162-0. But that will not be the case. I don't know when a slump is going to come, but you can bet your ass it's going to happen. And we're all going to be grousing and bitching and moaning. Like, what's wrong? How in the hell did the Dodgers get into this position this soon? Let's hope that it's July or August, but I don't see that sort of thing lasting very long. But I feel like this is a good season for the Dodgers, coming in as the largest favorites to win the World Series since 2002, when the Yankees were plus 200 favorites. Dodgers coming into this season as plus 275 favorites. Where's was it BC that's made the comment? No, Nando. Nando off to a good start. Pete, still not impressed by Ohtani this year. It's funny you say that, Nando. I have a completely different attitude about Ohtani. My expectations, for whatever reason, I feel like and I said this last year, to be fair, my criticism was I always pointed at myself saying it was unfair criticism. I put too high expectations on him. And I feel like this year, because of his performance last year, 50-50 and winning the MVP, and my expectations are not that high. So I feel like I am going to be more impressed and more pleased with what Shohei Ohtani does this year as compared to last year, which was fantastic. And the game, of course, tonight on ESPN, and Ravitch brought up the 50-50 performance game where he was 6 for 6 with 10 RBI. And you just think about those numbers. They are mind-boggling. They're staggering. I remember talking about it afterwards here on the postcast, saying something to that effect. But when you look back on it, it's even more mind-boggling and staggering. Like just an amazing season for him last year. So they, of course, I thought it was a little surprising, a little bizarre that they honored Freddie Freeman, for hitting the walk-off grand slam home run to win. I think was it game one? How quickly we forget that sort of stuff. But they honored him with that. And that was a little strange and bizarre when you get right down to it. I thought, babe, please don't take your clothes off in the background as I'm on the air right here. Jesus. I'm going to change. They won't notice. All right, that's a perfect place to take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about the turning point of this game, and we'll get into kind of the overview of what we'll be talking about with this game. And we've already broken down the pitching numbers for this one. We'll get into the offensive display for the Dodgers, who edged the Tigers in LA at the Ravine, their third win of the season, their first in the United States, their home opener, as they squeak by the Tigers by a score of 5-4. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On YouTube channel. I am Pete Fox. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you allowing us to be your source for your team every day. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for skilled trades. Supply House, whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electric work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. And you need help with an order, they can do it. You just give them a call and they'll say, okay, we know what part you have and we can help you understand it better, how to install it, how to work it. All of those things. Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Masters program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Masters program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use the promo code SH5. That's SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Tonight's episode Also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. March Madness is here in full effect. They're playing right now, as a matter of fact, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who is going to cut down the net. Staying in the action with the tournament as the games are going on fast and furiously right now. Every day, there's always something for everyone to bet on. So visit FanDuel.com and get into the college hoops action all tournament long. FanDuel. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. They will present rings and raise the banners for the Dodgers tomorrow. As History Man 0828 says, the banner is up. The rings will be handed out tomorrow. The team visits the White House in a week and a half, and the Dodgers are looking to make 2025 a season to remember. Indeed, they are off to a good start, 3-0. I thought tonight was a confident win. It was a tad bit shaky, but look, we're going to have these all season long. We can't expect them to dominate everybody every time out. Tonight there was clutch hitting when they needed it. And really, honestly, in spite of Blake Snell not having the greatest night, he got out of two jams. A jam in the second, had a couple of runners on there with one out. Then Tommy Edmond homered to give the Dodgers the 1-0 lead. And then the top of the four, he had the bases loaded. And then a wild pitch scored a run to tie the game at 1. The very next pitch was a strikeout and got out of that jam. So he pitched well all in all. And, shortly thereafter, a 3-run homer from Teoscar Hernandez on a first pitch four-seam mistake that he really just blistered to give the Dodgers a comfortable lead, which they made stand up. Shohei Ohtani with a home run, part of a 2-for-4 day to put a little icing on the cake for the Dodgers. He had no Ks on the day and looked really on the ball. Yes, to answer your question, Nando, still I am impressed with Shohei Ohtani. I feel like he is off to a good start this season, batting .417 with 1,000% slugging. His on-base percentage is .500. Mookie Betts 1 for 3 today, batting .333. Teoscar 1 for 4. His average still needs a little bit of help. 167. I'm assuming that means that was his first hit of the season. Freddie Freeman 0 for today, has not gotten a hit this season because he did not play in Japan. Tommy Edmond 1 for 4 with the home run. He's batting .214. Will Smith had a hit, 1 for 3, batting .429. Max Muncy did not look great today, 0 for 3, couple of Ks, batting 100. Miggy Rojas 0 for, and Andy Pajas 1 for 3, batting .250. As far as the Tigers go, Spencer Torkelson had a nice evening. Only one hit, but walked 4 times. The one hit, a home run. Gleyber Torres, a pair of hits. Manny Margot, a pair of hits. And when you look at what we saw from Skubal, 6 hits given up over 5 innings, 4 earned runs on 4 runs on 6 hits, only 1 walk and 2 Ks over 80 pitches. So he gave up 2 home runs. Not a great start for the American Cy Young Award winner. It felt like he was pressing a little bit, made a couple mistakes, and the Dodgers took advantage of it. And I think that's the biggest thing you're going to look at here is say, when you come away from this game and you feel like, look, Skubal wasn't terrible, but the Dodgers took advantage of just minimal mistakes and maximized them. So that's a good thing for the Dodgers, and that's what we're going to see for them all season long.
This is what you'll be talking about.
You'll be talking about the Dodgers winning their home opener in a tight one, and Teoscar Hernandez hitting a home run, picking up where they left off last year. And I think that's, like I said at the start of the show, I feel like that's what we take away from this game, is that they got to win. It wasn't dominant. It wasn't huge. It wasn't comfortable. We probably all looked at it and felt like it wasn't ever in doubt. Like it was like, oh, easy win, no problem. But it wasn't. I mean, this one they had to struggle for a little bit. They had to scrap because the bullpen was not terribly dominant. They were okay. They all did their job when it was all said and done. But in the end, they come away with the win. And I think that's what we're talking about, because that's all that matters really at this point of the season, is that you get the win and you get you get on to the next one. And the turning point for this one.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I mean, it feels obvious to say, but the home run from Teoscar Hernandez, look, they scored all their runs with home runs. And the fact that Teo hit a 3-run home run was the biggest one of the game for the Dodgers. And that gave them the comfortable lead. And the bullpen, although they weren't great, they were good enough. So the turning point was the home run from Shohei Ohtani. And that was the icing. That was the security for the Dodgers. But as far as the turning point, Teo's home run, give the Dodgers a comfortable 3-run lead at that point, and the bullpen kind of let the Tigers back into it, who kept clawing and kept scratching to try to get back into this game. So you have to give them credit, but in the end, the Dodgers were able to get it done. So good for them. 3-0 to start this season, and they are right back at it tomorrow. I believe Yamamoto is starting tomorrow. Let me double check that. It is a later start. They started at 4 today. Tomorrow is the normal 7:10 at the Ravine. And it appears that, yes, Yamamoto will face former Dodger Jack Flaherty, who came to the Dodgers from the Tigers. So Flaherty just went right back to the Tigers. Very, very interesting. So that'll be a nice matchup on the mound. Again, underway at 7:10, and we'll be here on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel to break it down. Of course, this is now the place you hang out when every game is done. And don't forget to check out Jeff and Vince for the daily Dodgers podcast, which will give you a much longer and more in-depth examination of this game and what is going on in general with the Dodgers. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. Of course, appreciate all the regulars being right back there in the comments. And good to see all of you guys. And it's a good place to be right now as a Dodger fan, and getting ready for this season to keep rolling along with a homestand to start the season. I always feel weird when they start on the road, and I know they did technically starting in Japan, but opening the official regular season at home is a very, very good feeling, especially when you come away with the win. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I am Pete Fox. It is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports. I'll get used to it. Don't worry. On the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Have a good night. Take care.